Hello everyone, and welcome to week 2 of Unit 1 in CST 408. I wanted to take this opportunity to go through a few key ideas from Unit 1, as well as to make sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to submitting Assignment 1 for Unit 1. Remember, this assignment is required for everyone, so you all have to do it. But first things first, let's go over a few key ideas from Unit 1. By now, a couple of key ideas should be pretty clear to you. First of all, health communication is more the study of a context, meaning that rather than having any key theories of health communication, we really study specific health contexts like food and obesity studies, cancer research, smoking cessation, health literacy. What this means is that we use theories from other areas of communication, like interpersonal communication or relational communication, rhetoric, organizational communication, intercultural communication, to study specific things about health information. You also should have picked up on a key definition of health communication. I've adapted the ones offered by Dupre and Gary Krebs to say that health communication focuses on how we seek, process, share, and construct health information. Basically, it's all about relationships between people, texts, and technology. And that's what we're going to study a lot over the course of the semester, is how those different relationships allow us to seek, process, share, and construct health information. In doing so, you as a communication person can be much more savvy about relying on those relationships in order to construct a better health communication out there for us. You also should have picked up on a few of the key journals where we publish a lot of health communication research, as well as some of the topics that we study, including medical communication, AIDS, HIV, safe sex, cancer and breast cancer information and treatment, smoking and alcohol treatment, social support, so on and so forth. You can really use this information on the page of your Blackboard site to start working on some of your final projects for the course. But more importantly, you can use them as a foundation to do Assignment 1 for Unit 1. So let's go ahead and move on to that topic. Here we are at Assignment 1 for Unit 1. As you can see, there is some key information here, including the due date, which is Sunday, January 25th at 11:59 p.m. There are 50 points possible for this assignment, and I've also included a rubric here for you. We'll come back to that in a minute. But this is where you submit your assignment and make sure you get it in on time. When you scan down the page, you get the details of the assignment. This should look pretty familiar to some of the information that you found under the Read This First section of Unit 1, where I gave you a quick list of some of the key journals where we find a lot of health communication research. This assignment tests your ability to find information from these journals specifically through the Jackson Library homepage. I want you to get familiar with health communication research, but I also want you to get familiar with finding information through our library. Make sure that you access the journals through the Jackson Library homepage. If you click on the Journal of Health Communication, for example, it will take you to the regular web page for the journal, not the one that takes you through the Jackson Library homepage. There's nothing wrong if you click on the link and go to the regular page for this journal. You can get a lot of helpful information, including what the journal looks like, the most read and most cited articles, the most recent articles that they've published. However, if you try to view a full text, download a full text, or access it in any other way, the regular web page will ask you to pay for these articles. And you don't need to pay for them because you can get them for free through the Jackson Library. Let's say I want to find the Journal of Health Communication through the Jackson Library webpage. The easiest thing for me to do is to go to the Journal A to Z list, click on that link, type in the Journal of Health Communication, and that's all I really need to do. Then search it, and I have many different options where I can find this text. And I'm actually going to search through the Taylor and Francis Journal Collection at UNCG because it gives me coverage from 1997 to the present. So all I have to do is click on that link. Of course, I'm going to have to enter my UNCG information because right now I'm off campus. And it takes me to the exact same page that you saw earlier. However, now I can download articles for free. So what I want you to do is browse through some of the last few volumes, so 2014, 2013, 2012, 2010, 2011. I want you to take a look over at the most read articles, the most cited articles, for at least 2 of the journals that we outlined in Unit 1. So the Journal of Health Communication could be one of those journals, but you can also use any of those that are listed on the Blackboard site. Now this is critically important. You have to use journal articles from this list of journals. If you use a journal that is outside of this list, you won't get credit for that entry in this assignment. So make sure that you're using articles that come from these journals. I can't stress this enough. This is the #1 way that people lose points on this assignment. So basically, what I want you to do is this. Pick 2 of these journals, head over to the Jackson Library, take a look at the last 5 to 7 years, just kind of browse them lightly to get a sense of what do we write about? What do we research? What concepts do we study? What theories do we use? What are some of the different contexts that we examine? What I'm really trying to get you to do is familiarize yourself with what and how we study health communication. Once you've browsed the last 5 to 7 volumes from these 2 journals, what I would like for you to do is to construct a 2 to 3 page document that outlines your take on those common theories, concepts, and contexts that we study in these 2 journals. So you might focus on things like technology. You might focus on theories that we use like uncertainty reduction or the use of fear appeals. You might focus on specific concepts like self-efficacy. Basically, I'm trying to get a sense of what do you see as important in how we study health communication. Let's take this back to the Journal of Health Communication as an example. Again, remember, we've accessed this page through the Jackson Library, so we have access to all of these journal articles for free. What I want you to do is really take some time to click on a particular volume, take a look at the issues that have been published in that volume. So for example, let's just look at issue 12 as an example. You will have access to articles. When you click on an article, you can get access to the abstract, to the references, to related articles. You have full access to it, so you can actually download the full text of the article. And what I want you to do is just spend some time looking at the titles, looking at the authors. Take a moment to actually read the abstract. It doesn't take much time at all. All of the information will be included right there for you. For example, we can tell by this article that it's about comparing local TV news with national TV news in cancer coverage. So as I mentioned, we do a lot of research when it comes to cancer news, cancer information, and cancer prevention. And in this case, we're looking at actual local news and national news and comparing that coverage. So you'll start to get a sense of some of the context that we study, but even by this abstract alone, you get a sense that we focus on some specific key ideas. If you get a chance, take a look at the full article, look at some of the key terms that are associated with those articles, and just make a note of, here's an example of an article that covers cancer. And do that as you compare many of the other articles in this journal across issues from the last 5 to 7 years. It might take you a little bit of time. In this case, you'll notice there are 12 issues in every volume of the Journal of Health Communication. But I'm really just asking you to do a scan. You don't even have to read the full articles. Just do a scan of some of the things that have been published over the last few years. So here we can see effects of an online alcohol education course among college freshmen, an investigation of potential mediators. This is definitely going to be a quantitative article, so it might be a little bit challenging for you, but you'll at least get some good information from the abstract. You'll at least get a good sense of what some of the key terms are if you download it and take a look. And just again, make a note. Here's an article about effects of online education among college freshmen when it comes to alcohol. Now remember, you are going to do this for 2 journals. So you might pick the Journal of Health Communication and Health Communication. You might look at Health Communication and the American Journal of Public Health. You might look at the American Journal of Public Health and the Journal of Applied Communication Research. I just want you to pick 2 journals from this list and look at the volumes over the last 5 to 7 years. Again, you're just browsing them. You're getting a sense of the abstracts, the key terms, the authors. And as you start to construct this into a 2 to 3 page document, I want you to highlight those specific theories that we use often, those specific concepts and contexts that you saw popping up over and over again. I want you to compare and contrast the 2 journals. Do you notice some similarities and differences between what they cover? And finally, the last piece that I'm looking for is for you to pick about 5 articles from each journal, so 10 citations total, format them in APA style, and include them as a list of citations that demonstrate that you know some of the common theories, concepts, contexts, and other ideas that you outlined in this assignment. Just to make sure you know what's going on, let's scan back up the page and take a look at the rubric for this assignment. When you click on the rubric, you see all of the criteria that I'm going to use to grade this assignment. First of all, I'm going to ask you for a clear identification of 2 journals from the assigned list. Again, make sure they're from the assigned list. If they're not from the assigned list, I can't give you the points. Clear identification of common theories, concepts, and contexts. As you're thinking about this criteria on the rubric, think about how you're organizing your information. You might want to include a table. You might want to include bold-faced headers that have common theories, common concepts, common contexts. Again, make it easy for me to read and understand that you're summarizing and synthesizing information together and not just listing a summary of each individual journal. Make sure that you're including a clear comparison and contrast between the journals. Help me understand what you see as the similarities and differences between the 2 journals that you picked. Make sure that you select 10 articles that demonstrate the common theories, concepts, and contexts from the 2 journals that you selected. Again, one easy way to do this is 5 articles from one journal and 5 articles from the other journal. Make sure that you include an APA bibliography of the 10 articles that you selected. I actually have a link to APA style under course info and syllabus. So if you're having any trouble with the APA style and how to format that, make sure you click on that link and take a look at that resource. And then finally, I include a few points for spelling, grammar, and formatting. I want this to be easy to read, and I want you to make sure that you've done some editing and some really close reading to make sure that you haven't made any mistakes. That should cover it for some updates from Unit 1, Week 2, as well as everything that you need to know about submitting Assignment 1 this Sunday. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great rest of your week.